So if I can get that out without electrocuting myself. Well, I started recording this yesterday for this one, but I've had to order some new parts. And then today, someone's brought us another one for us to look at. Now this is from a Bosch vacuum cleaner, apparently, and it does not output any voltage. So we'll turn that on. We'll give it a quick check. Absolute zero. So while I wait for parts for this one, I'll open this one up and see if I can find out what's wrong with this one too. Easier said than done. This is supposed to output that says 20 volts. I may have to heat this up. Oh. Right, let's get some heat on there. Oh, that's well made. There's no screw in there. It's got to be just glued. Gordon Bennett. I don't think they want you to open these up. Wow. That's so difficult. Right. Making some progress now. So there's a clip here. That's it. Now, this has been plugged in, so there will be voltage possibly in one of these capacitors, if not both. There's a nice big blob of glue there, which is going to make things a little bit more tricky. But it's very similar to the one I was looking at yesterday. So if I can get that out without electrocuting myself. There we go. So the live and neutral just pinch onto those two connectors there. It's a shame about all of this gunk. Let's have a look underneath. Can I zoom in? How far can I zoom in? Right. I wonder if this is the fuse. It looks like it could be. Test that first. Continuity. Fuse is okay. Right. So there'll be a large cap or two. I'll check for voltage. Yeah, That large capacitor has a whopping 322 volts in it. I think there might be another one there. There's another one there with 300 volts in it. So the capacitor's working. So the diodes, the bridge rectifier is presumably working. There's a capacitor slowly losing its charge. So while that's doing that, I will look underneath the scope and keep my fingers well away from it. Alright, I'm going to be very careful, and I'm just going to look for any signs of damage. I can't see anything. Is that a burn, perhaps, around that diode? Or is it just where the glue is? I think it might just be the glue. What about this side? I'm assuming this is the chip responsible for the power management. I wonder if it's something simple like a break in the cable. So positive in the end of there. To, can't see which one's positive. That goes straight through, so that must be okay. And negative, that's okay. Yeah, couldn't be that easy. How are my capacitors doing? $293 volts. I'm going to have to short them with something. I don't want to. Right, 62 volts. What about the other one? 63. Right. 2 volts. Right, I'm happy with that. This glue is awful. The problem I've got is I cannot plug it in and test for voltage because it's on this stupid thing. How am I going to do this safely? Let's have a think. I'm just looking at the board and the components, and I'm looking for any signs of burning, discoloration or charring before I go any further. I've came across a diode on the output, and that diode is going straight through, shorted. And I think this is the capacitor next to it, which is also shorted, and the black and white is also straight through. So I think there's a short on the output side. Let's do that just to make sure. Yeah, that shouldn't be right. That shouldn't do that. Pretty sure. Yep, no resistance. So there's a short on the output side, I think. So that's something to look for. However, Where is it? Something shorted to ground. So it could be that diode or a capacitor. Could it be damaged in the cable? Could be. What normally fails open? No, fails closed. Shorted. Is shorted open or closed? Am I just going to have to start taking off pieces? There's a small chip there. I think I'll take this capacitor off and see if it clears the short. Or perhaps the diode. Let's do the diode. That glue holding it in. That's it. I suppose I could just test this and see if this is improved. I think it might have done. Have I just struck lucky? Let's test this in diode mode, seeing as it's a diode. Straight through. Surely I haven't been that lucky. Alright, let's test that let's test that capacitor. Yep, 5 mega ohms, and the leads there, that should be the same really, I would think. Open, 1.9 mega ohms. So I think that diode is shorted. If I can find out what that is, I may be in luck. It's a MBR 2200. Should I write that down? I didn't have much luck last time, but I do have a little tub of diodes. So I've got some diodes that I've taken from other things. I don't suppose I'm going to have to go under the scope. I don't know what the numbers on the diodes represent. 702. Look at these tiny ones. Xenodiode. I should make a note when I buy these what they're actually for. Obviously I've bought it for a reason. I'm going to have to Google it. Right, so I'm going to have to do a bit of research and see if I can find out what spec this could be. It's on a 20 volt output on a switch mode power supply. Right, where am I? This is, I'm going to replace the one I took out. Now, apparently, the one I took out is a 200 volt 2 amp Schottky diode, rectifier diode. The one I'm going to put in is a 600 volt 1 amp rectifier diode. So I think that's what I'm going to put in, just to see if it works. If it's 1 amp, it should be safer. This thing only puts out, I'm sure it's 500 milliamps output. That's 30 volts. So I'm assuming a 1 amp diode will be okay. So I'm going to try it. It's not an instructional video. I'm not recommending you replace parts that aren't the exact same, but just for science, I'm going to try it. There we go. If this doesn't work, I'll order the correct one. It's just touching that resistor next to it, which I think is fine. But I'm just going to double check it underneath the scope. It's on the same track there. I'm sure that's fine. See if I can clean it up. Yeah, that's on the same track. That'll be okay. Right, let's put this back together. That looks good. Put that back on top of there. We'll plug this into the load lamp, just for added precaution. Right, I'll turn that on there. I'll turn this load lamp on at the wall. We'll see what happens. Right, there was a very small flash there and it stayed off, which is a good sign. And we'll test this to see if we've got any voltage. Ah, look at that. 29.77 volts. Now that's a 30 volt charger. That's spot on. That is a fix. So, do you use it? Shall I give it back to my work colleague and you can use it to charge his Bosch vacuum up? Or is it worth him buying a new one? Let us know in the comments. But I'm over the moon. That's brilliant. It just really just needs to be glued back together. I'll let him do that. Excellent. If you liked the video, please click a like. I did fix it, so I deserve a like. And if you enjoyed it, I hope to see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Brilliant.